In my plan, which was outlined by Susan Martin, countries must have three forms of solidarity. First, economic solidarity. Countries share the financial burden of helping poorer countries receiving refugees. Wealthier nations often support humanitarian organizations working on crises, but resources to support refugees are nowhere near the levels they need to be. Second, geographic solidarity. Countries share the responsibility of physically accepting refugees. Third, political solidarity. At the political level, countries can work together to address the root and proximate causes of large-scale displacement. In terms of the first contention, I did not say at any point that the United States should blindly let any refugees in who ask to be in our country. In fact, congruent with my evidence, I say the refugees resettlement program is the least likely avenue for terrorists to choose. Refugees who are selected for resettlement to the United States go through a painstaking, multi-layered review before they are accepted, which means they are properly vetted. In terms of her second contention that countries should be able to choose the number of refugees they take in, she mainly cites that this puts pressures and stress on nearby countries who disproportionately are burdened with refugees. However, in terms of my plan, I say that there must be all three forms of the inter-country solidarity to arrive at an effective response to the refugee crisis. This means that it is incumbent upon the United States to provide economic solidarity, which is lacking, geographic solidarity in accepting refugees, and political solidarity to lift this burden on the surrounding countries. In 2016, the U.S. implemented a plan to only accept 10,000 refugees from Syria, which is immaterial to the 13.5 million Syrians who are in need of humanitarian assistance. There is more we can do. Moving on to her arguments to my prop case. In terms of her contention to my framing of the debate as a proposition, I have the right to frame this debate in terms of topicality. The resolution is not a specific statement. It uses generalities such as this House and the nation states that must be narrowed down. In fact, this House refers to one governing body, in this case, the United States. Furthermore, narrowing the framework of this debate only benefits constructive because it allows her to more specifically attack my arguments. Also, there is a moral issue with her entire argument. She states that I quote, the ops argument is first to prevent the movement, vet them, decide which countries are taking which number of refugees, and then distribute them evenly throughout the world. First, she contradicts herself while on one hand saying we should decide what number of refugees to take in, then goes on to say that we should distribute refugees throughout the world evenly. Second, refugees are people and should not be distributed throughout the world like they are meaningless. We can't just distribute them like cows. My opponent dehumanizes these people who are suffering, which is not the approach we should take. In fact, when you take this multifaceted approach, you expose refugees to horrible conditions. As a nurse at one of these refugee camps stated, how can I describe to you in words the smell of the urine and feces? How can I describe to you what it means to live 24/7 in temperatures of 4 to 5 degrees Celsius? The temperatures we use to preserve our meat and cheese in the fridge.